or maybe the first part of next. So, we'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll see how I know that both of those shows have streamed well, and in the past, at least under prior administrations, they got early renewals. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's just like a lot of crazy things going on, and we hadn't even gotten into Ezra Miller yet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we can get on that topic right now.
Yeah.
So the latest Miller update is he was charged with felony for a burglary in Vermont, but still managed to do reshoots on The Flash this summer. And Warner is now considering 3 different options on what to do with the film, according to The Hollywood Reporter. One of those options is just to like burn it, right?
Yeah, that's the third option. Just burn it. This swallow $200 million.
I just feel bad for like the actress who was going to play Supergirl, and a lot of the, like, even Keaton. But I mean, Keaton, you've got enough.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. You've been good, but just those other up and comers who this was quote unquote their big break, and then to have the lead star have all of these scandals, and now you don't even know if your big break is going to actually happen.
Right.
That's heartbreaking. There's a lot of victims in this whole thing.
There's a lot. Cast, crew, yeah. And I guess the other 2 options, the first option that was reported was that one, his mom has been basically babysitting her 29-year-old son, and he's supposed to be seeking professional help after returning home to their farm in Vermont. So if hopefully if he does get that help, he'll do the Will Smith video that explains why he did what he did, and then people will either accept that or not, and we can't control that. But and the movie will then open. The second scenario is if he doesn't reach out for help, then Warner could still release the film, but don't expect him to be a part of any kind of marketing or publicity. And actually, I didn't realize this, but I guess there was a movie that apparently just released this week with him in it. I can't remember the title of it right now, but that's the route they went, where he is just like, where they are not, Ezra is not in any of the publicity or whatever, but he plays a young version of the Salvador Dali film. So they play a young version of Dali, and they just did, and the studio that released that film just doesn't have him mention at all that he's playing this character. So yeah.
Interesting. So here's the question though: if they do release it, whether he gets help, whether he doesn't get help, do you go and see it?
I will. I'm not going to sit here and like say I'm not. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, heck,
I would probably end up going to see it too.
I mean, if I were going to like,
if Phil didn't, I would probably skip it. But
yeah, I mean, look at all the stuff Robert Downey Jr. did when he was young back in the 90s, and he's like, he's led a franchise for like over a decade. So I mean, people, I guess this is where you have to separate art from the artist,
right? And it's a fair point. Yeah. For me personally, whether he gets help or not, I think it's complete bullshit, because for someone to go from one extreme to the other, I mean, that didn't happen for Robert Downey Jr. overnight. That was years. And there was a certain person, not a therapist, who he encountered who really like changed that whole perspective for him. And I know he did some screwed up stuff, but Ezra Miller has taken it to a whole new level.
Yeah. But other rehabilitation projects, I think about Rob Lowe. He did some stuff when he was young, and and was able to rebound from that and have a very successful career. So I mean, it's.
Oh,
I'm
not saying it's impossible for him not to have like a successful career. I'm just saying that's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, true.
To go from like America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, true.
to suddenly, hey, come see my film. I've completely changed.
Yeah, I guess a lot will happen. I mean, obviously the burglary charges because he just stole some liquor, some alcohol from a neighbor's house. I think a lot will. I guess it depends on like the assault charges that I think are still pending in Hawaii. I guess it depends on how some of those things like sort of shake out. And then I know there was I guess the Child Protective Services is looking into a situation with Ezra and a mother and her children in Vermont about whether or not there was some grooming or some other things going on. So, I mean, there's a lot could happen here over the next little way and determine whether or not they go to option 3. So, which is like